Again,
Cool. So, what's your name and what do you do?
my name's Malick IV and I make music. A long time, man. Writing for like over 10 years, but I'd say the past 5 years has been more like concentrated as far as like the message I want to leave, you know? And like just my identity as an artist, as a person. When I first started writing, it was like Jay-Z, Puff Daddy, Ja Rule era, like the smash hits, you know what I mean? But through that, I gained a lot of confidence in just expressing myself, you know? Because like naturally I was always like a shy kid and stuff like that. So when I was like, oh, okay, this is me, like this is like all me, like it's a very empowering practice, you know what I mean? So yeah. I draw influences from like Jay-Z, sonically maybe a bit of like Dom Kennedy stuff. So I just try and mix like, just like sweet sounds over like cutting lyrics, storytelling, and just like lifestyle raps, yeah. It's a feeling, man. It's a feeling, and then through that feeling, you can just be expressing what that feeling is, or that feeling can trigger like past experiences and stuff like that. So yeah, as long as there's that feeling, like you can draw from whatever. Like I was in the studio the other day and I wrote a line. I said, I don't call the youngers my youngers because they're my teachers. Through them I keep in touch with the energy that tried to leave me, that's been depleting. Like, I just been really thinking about how much I value like young energy with every year I get older. And then I realized that was in my mind from like January. Like, I was with my cousin in Gambia and I captioned the picture like, oh, my little brothers are my teachers. But it's like, I had the thought and I forgot about it, but something about that beat that I heard the other day brought back that memory from like 8 months ago, you know? So.
In terms of like mental health, what are your views on the lack of discussion on mental health at the moment? If you think there's a lack of, anyways.
I think we're progressing more and more, do you know what I mean? I do feel like anything, like there is kind of like a trendy aspect to it, which is a bit, I don't know, a bit weird, but for the most part, I think it's encouraging. Like we can always talk about it more for sure. And I think especially like coming from where I come from, like the demographic and things like that, like we do need to speak about it more, but we're getting there. I think for me, like being Gambian, and I think just African in general, like the generation before us don't even acknowledge it as a thing. Like, like we've been through everything. Like we're fine, you know. But there's a lot of like, the more I like peep it, there's a lot of like trauma and stuff like that from like our older generation, and looking at how they parented us, like you can kind of see, like the lack of love or like affection in this area, or like, just how emotional intelligence wasn't something that was like encouraged like that, do you know what I mean? So yeah, we just need more conversation. So things like this is amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. Mental health discussion literally saves lives. Like it's as simple as that, you know? Man, I nearly lost one of my best friends who tried to commit suicide and just like downed mad pills and went to bed, do you know what I mean? So like he like checked out. And his body rejected the drug. He threw up, do you know what I mean? Thank God, and that was that. But just the idea that like, I would have just got a call the next day like, so-and-so's gone, do you know what I mean? And a conversation might have like intercepted that, could have changed that, do you know what I mean? So I think literally it saves people's lives. You know, to a lesser degree, just like promotes all of us, like just checking in with ourselves and looking after ourselves, because it's really real, you know?
What's the process like? Is it the same? Because you know, there's this like preconceived notion that men aren't as emotional, or like women are the emotional one and men are logic. So like, is it the same? Like when men have breakdowns or when they have low mental moments, is it out of a feeling, or is it more like societal pressures, so more of a logical background? Like, what is it?
That's a great question. I would say it's an, like breakdowns in men and stuff like that. I'd say it's an all-encompassing thing. I'd say it is the feeling, and I can speak for a lot of the men that I know and that I've watched, and including myself at certain points. It's like we feel it and we keep feeling it until it consumes us, right? So we'll only respond, or our bodies and our minds will only respond once like we're at breaking point. And it's only after that that we do something about it. And the social aspect definitely plays a part, for sure. I feel, like a man is supposed to be X, so if we're not X, and then if we have our own internal things, like we feel like we're failing, in our careers at home or wherever, like on top of that, it just like exacerbates it. And man, it is rough. It is rough because it doesn't encourage us to deal with it, to deal with the issue, because it's like us acknowledging weakness, And it takes a while, man. It takes a while, but through conversations like this, man, and especially us amongst just as men, like we do need to be like, like prodding each other, like, yo, like I've been there, so like if you ever need, I do that all the time, like bro, like it's alright, like shout me if you need, because it's real. When did I realize I was a perfectionist? Maybe like 2012 when I was making Blood of a Martyr, which was like my first real attempt at making an album. Like 12 like original tracks. At a time where like we were all dropping mixtapes and just spitting over everyone else's beats and stuff. First of all, I think perfectionism is poison. I'll go as far as saying poison, and like I've experienced it. But I also think in identifying with yourself as a perfectionist, I don't anymore, and I think it's whack, but it also excuses you and allows you to not produce. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's such a cool thing to say, but there's also so much ego behind that. Like, I was listening to this Eckhart Tolle interview with Oprah, and he was talking about, it blew my mind actually, he was talking about shyness being rooted in ego. And like, I've always been a shy person, I think naturally, and I see it in like my eldest daughter, like I see myself at that age, you know what I mean? Like, but I do think at a certain point for me, before I really started combating it, like being shy and stuff, it's like, yes, ego a lot of times. It's like, I don't want to be seen to be any less than perfect, so I'm not going to engage. Like, I'm not going to take the risk and like tell that joke or whatever, because my ego, I can't risk my ego being bruised. Do you understand? So yeah, taking it back to perfectionism, I do think for me, a lot of my perfectionism was rooted in ego. Like, if this song is not the best, if this song is not flawless, I'm not going to put it out because I'm a perfectionist. And that's cool. And I mean, I'm always going to do something like, if I'm going to put something out, I'm going to try and do it to my best ability. But at the same time, what good is it being perfect with no product? Like, or you're like you feel stuff, and in your expressing it, like you are, that's a gift for people. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you withholding that because it's not perfect? Like why are you above being imperfect? Do you know what I mean? So when I really started coming to terms with that, and for me over this past year is when I really started just looking my ego in the face, do you know what I mean, and realizing how much it was like ruling my decisions and just how I've been moving. One day I woke up, yeah, I don't know if you've experienced something like this, but like I literally woke up and like this I realized exactly where my ego was born, where it stemmed from, why I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like 20 plus years, just like bang. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you're the eldest in an African family. You're the only son. Okay, cool. So it's mad responsibility, but at the same time, the message I'm getting, whether my parents meant it or not, the message I'm getting is you are the golden boy. You're the golden boy. You're the golden boy. Yeah. So even though I'm not walking around like with a big head thinking I'm better than everybody, there is this sense of, I don't know, maybe entitlement that like, yeah, like I should be doing perfect shit, and otherwise, boom, boom, because I'm the golden boy, and boom, boom, you know? It's like, and then like making music and getting positive response from that, again, reinforces that thing. And then, yeah, so you just think, yeah, I'm a perfectionist, but am I, do you know what I mean? Am I, or am I just scared of like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been interesting. All that I was saying and those breakthroughs that I was having have just made me so much more grateful for just like life itself. Because I remember when I didn't really care if I was here or not, do you know what I mean? But, so yeah, now it's just like, okay, what am I trying to leave? Like I want to leave stuff here, do you know what I mean? Like I want to leave these thoughts and these ideas here. So I have to tackle this perfectionism thing because it's affecting like my output and just my whole creative process. Like it's not fun, and for a long time it wasn't fun. Like, I shot a video a couple years ago in the States, sat on the video for like 2 years because I started editing it, like learning how to edit for the first time, and it wasn't perfect, so I left it. And then again, after all these breakthroughs, like I went back to it, I was like, I was bugging. Like it's not perfect, it's raw, and like the camera's shaky and all of that, but like it's a movie, do you know what I mean? And I dropped it like a couple months ago. Advice for self-doubt. I was just saying, like I'm coming off like 2 weeks of just like these little like niggles, like, oh, you're getting older. And sometimes just going away from it, like stepping away from the table for a second, do you know what I mean? Because like music stopped being fun for me for a while because I was trying to do it even though I wasn't feeling it, like just so I could like not feel the feeling of not being productive. So instead I'm gonna like just make shit that I'm not over the moon about anyway, and then feel like kind of underwhelmed by that, and like the cycle continues, isn't it? So yeah, sometimes just stepping away from it. Treating yourself as you would like your friend, like, do you know what I mean? Like be nicer to yourself, man. So a lot of that just comes from like bashing ourselves, and I've been like, man, I've been like terrible with that the past few years. But yeah, just like my thing recently has been just like going to a gallery by myself, do you know what I mean? Like whenever possible. And just through like that feeling, just like feeling better again, like, you know, you will feel empowered and stuff like that. But I think a lot of it is, yeah, just like being nicer to ourselves, man. Do you know what I mean?